Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle D. Clark, and I am super duper excited because guess what? I'm just a small town girl with big time dreams, and this has been one of those big time dreams to be able to broadcast live so that we can talk about what matters to women with Women Matters. So, we are going to have our Tuesday talks every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, if you get a chance, go ahead and register with StreamYard so that way I can see who you are. Other than that, it'll just probably show up as Facebook user or YouTube user. So go ahead and register. If you would like, you can also just put your name in the chat so I can give you a shout out and say, hey, hey. So I am super duper excited. Again, Michelle D. Clark. And for some of you all who don't know the LMSW, some people are like, what is that? LMSW? No, licensed master social work. So just a quick little tidbit, and then we'll go ahead and get started because I want to make sure to welcome everybody to our talk. So my name is Michelle D. Clark, and as you know, I am this small town girl with big time dreams, and I'm just super excited because God has shown His grace and mercy, y'all, and He has definitely just saved me from some life-threatening situations here. And when I talk about small town, I'm talking about Harvey, Illinois, and you may not even know where that is. You might be like, where is Harvey? Have no idea where Harvey is. That's okay. Most people don't know unless you're from like Illinois and definitely around the region. So the thing is, Harvey is like south side suburb of Chicago. Now, you don't have to be a reporter on America's Most Wanted to know how Chicago got its nickname Chirac. But instead of thugging and drugging and stealing and killing, I decided to do something totally different. Thank goodness, because of raisings of my parents and me not succumbing to peer pressure. So instead of becoming a dope dealer, I became a hope dealer with my company, Lift Nation, where we are empowering women to live inspired, free, and transformed. And so, in order to do that, I do have my bachelor's in psychology, I have my master's in social work, and I also have a PhD from the School of Hard Knocks. Because I've been through some things, as I'm sure you probably have too. And it's because of that, because of those things that I've been through, that has just given me the badge to be the Harriet Tubman of authenticity. I'm able to empower women to break the chains of stereotypes, shatter those glass ceilings, and shed the baggage of bad decisions, past mistakes, and involuntary traumas. And actually, I want to put out there, and also some voluntary ones as well. So, all right, you all, that's enough about me. Let's go ahead and get this party started. So I'm going to turn this music down. You know, did you like the music at the beginning? I thought it like kind of add like a little bit edginess to it, just, and I'm like kind of rocking a little bit like, hey. So if you haven't noticed already, this is just real talk, real people, real women. So I want to make sure that we keep it real tonight. And so that's really what I want to do. So I see somebody saying, hello, lady. I want to say hello, lady, to you too. I don't know who you are because you're not registered, but that's okay. Put your name in the chat and then I will know who you are and I can send you a proper shout out. So, all right. Oh, okay. I thought somebody was putting their name in there. That's okay. All righty. So cool beans. So basically what I like to do is I do want to go through our format for today. So I want to talk a little bit about what the platform is and what we plan to do. So I guess I just want to just take it back to one of those big dreams that I talked about that I had. I don't know if you've ever experienced this before as a woman, where other women are like, oh, I don't really like women. They always keep up some drama. Women are messy. I don't have any women friends. And so let's say if this is negative Nancy. I don't like no women because they always got some drama going on. They're always talking about people. Well, okay. So this is me now, right? So, okay, I feel you, Nance, because I'm not going to call it negative. I feel you, Nance, but I'm just wondering, like, what kind of energy are you putting out there? What you mean? What kind of energy I'm putting out there? I'm just doing me. I'm just being authentic. I'm being authentically me, unapologetically me. Okay, time out. Now, I don't know about you guys, But this whole apologetically me is just, sometimes it just gets my goat, because I think that sometimes people use that as an excuse to be rude, to be condescending, to just degrade others, and have that as a label, like, oh well, I'm just being unapologetically me. So I don't know how y'all feel about that. Let's see, who is that? Okay, what's going on? Hey, Genta, woo woo, how you doing, lady? Good seeing you. All right, thank you for loving my energy. I love your energy too. Genta is my girl. So absolutely. So let's go on back to this unapologetically me stuff, and then we're gonna get into the for real, for real. So I think it's just a way that people put this seal of approval on something that's normally disapproved, to kind of mask it and say, well, that's just me, take it or leave it. Well, I want to challenge that. So let's go back to the original negative Nancy and me hollering at her. So the bottom line is, I would say to negative Nancy, well, Nancy, I just got to ask you, like, what are some of the things that may have contributed to you not really digging women, and having women friends? Well, I've been backstabbed. I had a best friend and she ended up going my boyfriend. And then me and my mom, we never really got along. She always took her man's side over me, da 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 down the line. So I don't want to discredit what Nancy has been through, because that could be something that, I mean, that's really real for her. And it's really real that happens out here. And hurt people hurt people. So people, women, right? So hurt women hurt women. And so the thing is that I want to change that narrative. And I want to be able to do that with you. So can y'all help me out? I want to change the narrative. So my vision, y'all, is to change how women see women. That is it in a nutshell. And we can change that narrative one person at a time, starting from right here. Start from here. I had a conversation with somebody. Okay, and I know for real, I'm going to get into the format in 2.5 seconds, but I got to put this out here, because sometimes I have a seasoned mind, and when something comes to my mind, I have to hurry up and say it before I don't remember. But I was having a conversation with somebody, and that person, when we were just talking about how hurt people, and how when we are hurt, we sometimes make bad decisions, and sometimes we make decisions that aren't the best, but it seems emotional at the time, and we just kind of get drawn into that. And so what I like to do is really be able to talk about tonight, not just things like that. So when we make those kind of decisions, what's the aftermath? What's the aftermath? What is the outcome? And 9 times out of 10, we make those kind of emotional reactions instead of response, because we can still be emotional but make a response. Then it generally does not turn out how we want it to turn out. So what I want to do here, and with you all, with your help, with your permission, is I would love to work on changing this narrative on how we see each other, how we help each other, how we learn from each other. And so that's what this platform is about, for us to be able to talk about things that maybe wouldn't talk about somewhere else. So let's go ahead, let's get it out there. So let's talk about our agenda. So here's the format, you all. So we're going to do a welcome, which that was kind of sort of maybe kind of welcome. If anybody else wants to put your name in the chat, go ahead, so I can send you a proper welcome and send that out. And I also want to tell you all that there is going to be an announcement, but you got to stay to the end. So there's going to be an announcement towards the end, where I'm going to be sharing something. And trust me, you want to be in the house. I mean, you're already in the house, or you're already somewhere where you can just listen. We're live, right? We're live here. We're virtual. So I don't know if you got your curls in your hair. I don't know if you got flip-flops on. I don't know if you got a tank top on. It's okay. It doesn't matter. We're just being ourselves and having a good time. So I have an announcement to make, but you have to stay until the end. All right. So, format of the show. All right, hey, what's going on? I see Coach Latria is in the house. How are you doing, Coach? Welcome to the call. So, all right, everybody. So, as you put your name in the chat, I will actually be adding your name in my secret bag, and we'll talk about more about what that's going to mean when we get to the announcement. So, all right. So format of the show, y'all. We're going to do a welcome at the top of the show. And then we're going to do some like what's new for women. What's new for women? It might be something in the news. It might be something that I heard. It might be something I participate in. But what's new for women? We'll put that out there, right? And then we'll talk about women matter. So what matters to women? We'll have a couple of topics that we will dissect and talk about. And I really want this to be a conversation, you all. I don't really want this to be a monologue. Yeah, that's cool. If you want to just sit back, relax, you might be, eating with the family or something like that, or you might be in the middle of cooking, maybe can't get your Twitter fingers going, right? But I really want this to be a conversation between us. I want to say a dialogue, but it isn't like dialogue two. So a multi-log. So I really want this to be something where we can each one teach one, reach one, and really have a conversation. So it's one thing to sit back and relax. That's cool. But really to actively engage, it really helps to enrich the experience. So, all righty. So then after we do Women Matters, after that, we're going to do a rapid fire, a AMA. No, not American Music Awards. No, it is Ask Michelle Anything. Okay, now let me preface this. When I say Ask Michelle Anything, now, okay, women, ladies, don't ask me my weight, y'all. Don't do that. Don't ask me how old I am. I might tell you. I might tell you both of those, but just don't ask. That's not cool, right? Yes, but definitely make sure that you have your questions ready for me, Michelle D, and I will answer those questions. All right, cool beans. And then after that, we will do a wrap up. And if you have any topics that you want us to cover next time or in our next shows, then we'll do that as well. Now, another part of the format we may do or we will be doing coming up is we will have different speakers who will be able to come on and we'll have a conversation, a chat. We'll just chop it up. In addition to that, as we know, there's business owners, people who have products and services and goods they may want to get out there into the public. And guess what? This is a nice avenue to do that as well. So we'll talk about that later. But those are some of the other segments that we will have on our show. All right. And so I would love for you guys to put in the chat. I want to know how you're feeling. If you are on, if you're on 10, I want to hear that. If your emotions and your feelings are on high, like yay, I want to see that in the chat. Matter of fact, show me some love. Put some hearts in the chat, y'all. Put some hearts in the chat for me. And not just for me, put it in there for yourself as well. Because we have to start and end with love, right? And actually, we're going to talk a little bit more about love in a moment. So, all right. So let's get to, oh, yeah, I see those hearts coming in. Hey, look at that. Hearts, hearts, hearts. Let's go. All right. Thank you all for the love. And I love you back. All right. So let's move on to our next segment. So let's talk about what's new with women. Okay, this may not be like new, but I thought it was pretty interesting. So I was just reading through some different articles, and this one really caught my eye, y'all. So I was reading an article, and it was talking about how countries that had women leaders responded better during the pandemic. Surprise, surprise, right? So, in fact, what it stated was that an analysis of 194 countries revealed that the infection and fatality, infantility, but the fatality. I was thinking about infants. I don't know why, but anyways, so infection and fatality rates were lower during the first 3 months with those countries that had female leaders. So one of the reasons they talked about is how the fact that the women-led countries, they went on a lockdown quicker. So they're like, you know what? Not having this in my country. We're gonna shut it down. Shut it down. So they were like, shut it all the way down. And so that is super and fantastic. Now, okay, so who is calling me? Listen, get on the show. If you want to talk to me, then you have to get on either Facebook or you have to get on YouTube, and then we can talk. I can't talk to you right now on the phone. So, alrighty. Anyways, so back to what we're talking about at hand. So, with that, the leaders, they shut down the countries quicker, much, much quicker than the countries led by the other gender. And So I found that very interesting. So yeah, exactly. That doesn't make sense. You know what? 100%. And that really is going to key into one of the things we're going to talk about as to what that meant. Like, what were some of the things that really, the four common threads within the women's leadership that helped them to really put I want to say squelch the pandemic. And I was trying to think of another word that starts with a P, because I like to use alliteration. And I don't want to say prosper during the pandemic, but definitely keep the mortality rate down. Best definitely have people to not suffer as much and not have as much loss. And so some of those threads are, one of them was trust, just flat out trust, y'all. Meaning that the women leaders were open and honest about what was going on. They didn't call it a Democratic hoax. And I'm not saying, I don't care, Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter to me. I'm just talking about at the time, some of the leadership that we had at the time, we just called it a hoax. And as we know, it was not, unfortunately. And so I laugh at the term, but I'm definitely not laughing at the impact that it had on our country here in the US. Yeah, I'm broadcasting from the US, you guys, if you didn't know. So that was one thing, was open and honest communication, telling us the truth, or telling their countries the truth, telling them what was going on, and keeping them in touch every step of the way of what was happening during the pandemic. So that was part one, was trust. The second thing was decisiveness. Decisiveness. Now, I don't know about you all, but okay, quick story. So when I go out to eat, I used to go out to eat prior to the pandemic, and I started back now. But when I was going out to eat with a friend during the pandemic, and this friend used to say that I annoyed them to like no end, because of the fact that when it came time to ordering, my orders were a little bit special. Can you imagine that? Right. An order for me special. Right. Exactly. So the thing is, they would say, you don't, you don't know what you want. I was like, no, 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 no. It's not that I don't know what I want. It's that I know exactly what I want. The challenge came up is when exactly what I wanted, they didn't have. And I'm talking about things that should be on the menu. So it's not like I'm asking for like caviar and I'm at Burger King. No, it was things that on the menu. And I'm saying, can you fix it this way? Well, no, you can't get it that way. You have to do it this way. And it's like, oh, come on, man. But this is the way I like it. I like what I like, what I like. What is it? Your way, right away? Okay, okay. Burger King. That is Burger King, right? But that's the thing. I like it my way, right away, how I want it. So it wasn't the fact that I was indecisive. It was the fact that I knew exactly what I wanted, how I wanted it. So back to the topic at hand. So these female leaders were very decisive. And I find that very admirable, considering that during the pandemic, especially during the beginning of the pandemic, so much was up in the air. We literally had no idea. Everything was changing. This was changing. That was changing. Oh, if you have this kind of symptom, oh, now we found out you can be asymptomatic, and oh, you be asymptomatic and pass it on. And it was just so many things that was going on. Oh, but if you have these, I forgot what it's called now, but antibodies. If you have these antibodies, it was like, who the bodies? So it was so much in the air. We had no idea about how it worked, what the ongoings, what the inner workings were. What did that mean? But the thing is that the information that these female leaders got, they took that information and they acted on it. They were very decisive. They took action. So that was the other thing, is decisiveness. Another thing was tech. They used technology to their advantage. So they were charting and finding out what was going on, getting some graphs in place, understanding what some of the trends were, what was going on as far as like who's being impacted, how is it impacting people, making decisions off of that, and really using technology to lead the way. And that's so paramount, because we can talk about our ideas and what we think. Like, I don't know if you've ever gone somewhere, but let's say, okay, I've gone to the doctor, y'all. Now, if you can relate to this, then go ahead and put some ones in the chat. So I've gone to the doctor before, and let's say I wasn't feeling well, and they said, well, I think it could be this. And then you want to give me some medication about what you think. If you've experienced that or something similar to that, go ahead and put a one in the chat. Put a one in the chat. Let me know. So the thing is that I can appreciate you saying what you think, but can we get maybe some tests, some empirical data to back that up, to just kind of figure that out? Now, I get it. There's certain symptoms and signs or whatever that you can't really have a test for, like a common cold. There's no MRI or CAT scan that you can go through to say you have a common cold. But when it comes to more serious things, so okay, real quick testimony on my own. So some of you may or may not know, but I have a history of 2 strokes, TIA, breast cancer stage 2. Right. So we're talking about some serious stuff. Now, I'm not saying any of those doctors said, I think you have cancer. Let's go ahead and chop both of them off, because I didn't have to have a mastectomy, just one side. But so I'm not trying to minimize and say anything about their. I love my doctors. Let's just get that right. But just something similar to that, where I've had some other ailments and they were just like, well, we think this. And my son, he has special needs. He has cerebral palsy. And there was times where he had pneumonias. And we're like, okay, well, what type of pneumonia is it? Because depending on the type of pneumonia it is, will dictate the type of antibiotics that you're going to prescribe to him. And so I had to basically become a pseudo MD myself and do some research and study and ask a lot of questions, because the quality of your answer is determined by the quality of the questions. So anyways, back to the conversation at hand. And thank you so much for that Facebook user, which I'm sorry, I can't see who you are. If you're the same person, if you're Genta, if you are Coach Latria, and if there's some other folks who have entered the conversation, please put your name in the chat so I can know who you are and I can give you a proper shout out. So, all right. So back to the point at hand is that using technology to guide our decisions, not just what we think or what it could be, but actually having some empirical data to help to guide us. Last but not least, and this goes back to the comment when the person said that women are natural nurturers. The final ingredient to this secret sauce was none other than love. It was love. Love. Leading with love. Coming from a place of empathy, coming from a place of, I'm one of you. I get it. Coming from a place of what's in the best interest for everyone involved. How can we help those and really have that compassion in our heart to not leave anyone behind? And that's one of the things that I love about us as women, and I'm generalizing, obviously, but a lot of us are nurturers. More than not, we're nurturers, and we lead with love. We lead with love in our families. We lead with love in our companies. We lead with love in our social life. So, and we lead with love in our spirituality. It's just, I just wish that. Okay, so if I had a wish, if I had a I Dream of Jeannie, y'all remember I Dream of Jeannie, right? I might be dating myself. She would do like this, and then I think her daughter Samantha would do the little nose thing, and then they would have like a wish. Or if I had a genie in a lamp, rub the magic lamp. But the bottom line is, if I could tap into my I Dream of Jeannie and have one wish, that wish would be that each and every one of us leads with love. The good kind of love. So we'll get into another time topics that's talking about the types of love, because there are some unhealthy loves and where people don't really have a grasp of what love is. Okay, this song just popped in my mind. So you guys, intermittently, there'll be songs that pop in my mind and I'm just going to have to belt it out. But humor me on this one. Who remembers the song, I want to know what love is. I want you to show me. That's like so popped in my head. And we may actually make that into a topic. I think we should if you think we should make that into a topic, go ahead. And how about we put some hearts in the chat? So put some hearts in the chat. You can send me some love, or you can just put a heart in the chat. But put that in the chat if you want that to be a topic, and we'll make sure to put that on our list of topics. All right, everybody. So that's actually our what's new in the news for women. So not new, but news for women. I just thought that was totally awesome. The fact that women around the world that we were leading in the least amount of fatality and infections, those who were female leaders of their countries. All right, so let's move on. Now this actually is going to tie into that news for women, and it is our Women Matters segment time. And so for this one, I want to talk about emerging from the pandemic. So, a lot of us may feel like, it's done, it's over, the pandemic's over. And then here they come out with this monkey stuff. I mean, literally, when somebody talked about, now, okay, I know it's not COVID, or I believe it's not COVID, but I heard someone, when somebody talked about monkeypox, I literally thought they were joking. I'm like, for real? And I was like, wait, okay, that's a real thing, monkeypox? Like, where are we going with this? So, different things like that, different strains, different strands, different this, different that. The It's mutating, the COVID is mutating, and so we have all these different things coming at us. But I want to call this segment emerging from the pandemic, because there's so many things that has we've prospered during the pandemic, and I'm definitely not trying to undermine or sidestep a lot of the mortality rate and how people have been negatively impacted by the pandemic. At the same time, I want to talk about how we're starting to emerge from the pandemic and how we are growing from what we've learned. So, okay, sidebar. When the pandemic first hit, a lot of you all may not know that, okay, yes, I'm outgoing, and yes, I love to, socialize, all that kind of stuff. But I actually enjoy being at home. I actually enjoy the slower pace of life during that time. It gave me an opportunity, and hopefully, it gave some of you an opportunity to really sit back and analyze your life and think about what matters most to you. What matters most to you? And I'm going to tell you what, I know this to be true. I know I'm not the only one, because there's something they term the great resignation. A lot of people were like, I'm out of here. I'm not doing this anymore. They didn't want to do what they were doing. A lot of us were really in the rat race and just going along to get along, if you will, or maybe going along because that's what we got our degree in, or going along because that's what we felt make the most money and put, bread on the table and food on the table with bacon to cook, right? Bring home the bacon and then fry it up. But it wasn't something that we really loved. Or maybe it was something we loved at one time, and now the embers burned out. That's it. And so instead of trying to rekindle a dying fire or a dead fire, we ignited something else, and we became passionate about something else. We actually sat down and thought about what our love is, what our passions are, what our dreams are. So instead of calling it the great resignation, I like to call it the great imagination. So we started to dream again. We started to think again about what is it that we really want to do with our life. Okay. So, and I'll be saying sidebar here, intermittently. So, sidebar, you guys. I don't know if you've ever played this when you were younger, but when I was younger, we used to play "That's My Car." So we'd sit on the stoop, me and my friends, as kids, we would sit on the stoop and we would watch cars go past. And when it was a car that would go past that we really, really liked, we'd be like, "Ooh, that's my car. Ooh, that's my car." And you try to hurry up and say that before the other person said it was theirs. It's like, oh man, that was going to be my car, because only one person could claim it. So I bring that story up because I want to bring out that inner kid in you. I want you to start thinking about, what's your car? What's your house? As a matter of fact, let's get bigger than that. What's your life? What's your life? Think about it. What's your life? What are some things that during the pandemic you had an opportunity to take some inventory and say, this is working, this is not working? What were those things? I'd like to know what they were. So if you are able to put in the chat, go ahead and put in the chat and let me know. What are some of those things? What are some of those things that you say, you know what, this is working, this worked for me, and I'm going to keep doing that. And what was something that you said, no, thanks for playing. We have some nice parting gifts for you backstage. All right. So for me, I love doing what I do. So, okay. So for some of y'all who don't know what I do, uh, so the licensed master social work. So yes, I'm a licensed therapist. I'm also a life coach. I am a author, not just an author, a best-selling author of the anthology Hush, Breaking the Cycle of Silence Around Sexual Abuse. I'm also a speaker and I like to say, some people say motivational speaker, but I like to say expertise and a professional speaker. And I love to help people to get that aha moment, to get that transition in their lives. So I do a lot of things. And the common thread that runs between each of the things that I do is helping others. Helping others. And so in writing the book, I put me in the book. Things that happened to me that were along the lines of sexual assault. And then how it turned into almost a sexual abuse of me abusing myself by allowing others to treat me the way I felt about myself at the time when I lost myself because of a tragedy that happened, a trauma that happened in my life. And I lost my way. I put myself in that book to help others. When I'm coaching someone, whether it be, life coaching, I am helping that person. When I am sitting behind the desk and being able to connect with someone as a licensed therapist, I want to help someone. As a speaker, as a professional speaker, I help people. As a matter of fact, okay, quick sidebar, another sidebar, y'all. So, what was that? Was that yesterday? I can't keep up with the days. Yes, yesterday, Monday. So, yesterday, I had the opportunity to be a part of. It was just a fabulous event that happened down at the Motor City Casino. No, I did not gamble. No, I mean, no judgment on this side of the table, on this side of the screen. No judgment. That just wasn't my thing. I went there for an event, and there were a lot of speakers that were there, and they were a part of sales. So they were filming for their sales, and I was one of the audience members. And it was so empowering for me to be able to empower them. First of all, to be able to partake of the speech that they gave. But in addition to that, I actually was able to give some feedback too. So during one of the segments, there was a lady who she was trying to figure out how to really like end her speech, how she wanted to end it. And she asked us, the audience members, what should I do? And people were yelling out different things. They were, and I was just kind of thinking to myself, like, And her topic was so awesome. And so what I said to her, I said, end with a thought-provoking question to pose to your audience. And so now she's like, oh, I like that. So she's on the stage and she's like, what should I do? And her topic was about showing up. It's about showing up. And so I said, well, maybe pose to the audience that you have a choice on how you're going to show up. So as you leave here today, I want you to think about how you are going to show up. Choose how you are going to show up. Something to that effect, right? I'm getting a little dramatic right now, but it was something along those lines. And she actually utilized that. And I was like, yay, I helped somebody. And then there was another young lady who was doing a phenomenal job. And she was so authentic that she was not even using her teleprompter. And she was just coming from the heart. She knew what she knew, what she knew, what she knew. But there were certain parts on it that because she wanted to give so much, that it became challenging for her and she was kind of stumbling over her words. And at one point I just told her, I said, hey, take a second, turn around, come on back. And she was like, you know what? That's a good idea. I'll do that. And she actually did. She stopped, she took a break, she walked off, not fully off the stage, but walked, paced, and then came back and reset. It's just a resetting of the mind. And so it helped her. Now, I'm not trying to, say all this to impress you and, oh, Michelle, she's, the bomb.com. No, I'm not saying this to impress you. I'm saying this to impress upon you that during the pandemic didn't change my love of helping others. It's what I love to do. But it did change how I did that. So there were some add-ons, like Lift Nation became a part of my Lift family because of the fact that I wanted to be able to lift the nations. I want to be able to lift women. Okay, so y'all, Lift stands for Living Inspire Free and Transform. And so I want to be able to lift women in a way that has never been lifted before. So that is what I birthed during that process. And so if you're not a part, okay, shameless plug, you guys. If you're not part of Lift Nation, the Facebook group, then why not? It is absolutely free. All you have to do is ask, request to be invited, and you can have a general membership with Lift Nation for women only. So do that now. Act now. And if in the event that you say, okay, well, I don't have Facebook, I may be watching you from YouTube. Okay, that's cool. Listen, just shoot me a message. You can go to michelledclark.com. That's www.micheled, middle initial, clark.com. And again, Michelle with one L. You don't need two when one does the same. And there's no E on Clark, just Clark. So micheled.com. Right? I'm a minimalist when it comes to name. I guess you can really say my mom was, because she's the one who named me. But go there, go to the contact section, and all you have to do is put in your information, or you can book something right there on the site. But go ahead, put your information in, and let me know that you want to be a part of Lift Nation, and then we can make that happen without you being on Facebook. How about that? Because we have a lot of different things that go on outside of Facebook for general members and for those who are founders and above. So, okay, stop for station identification, y'all. So Coach Latria, I want to give her a big shout out because she is at our founders level. Woo woo! So thank you so much. And congratulations for making the decision. Did we talk about decisiveness? For making the decision to pull the trigger and become a part of our founders exclusive membership. Excuse me. Founders exclusive membership. So, all right, let me get it. Don't get it twisted. Let me get it right. Sorry about that. All right. So, cool beans. So, shout out to you, Coach Latria, for being one of our beloved founders exclusive members. All righty, cool beans. So, let's reel it back in. So, that was one of the things that I birthed during the pandemic and coming out of the pandemic. So, what are some of those other things that emerged in the pandemic? What are some of those things that, oh, I said, yes, empowering one another. I might be coming at this like 10 years and five days later, empowering one another. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what we need to do. We need to really empower each other. Point blank, period. And that's what we're going to do with Lift Nation. So I would love for you to be a part of our Lift Nation family. And we can help you to empower not only yourself, but also empower others through whatever avenue your business or company, or just you coming as a personal individual, whatever it is your passion is. All righty then. So let's keep it moving. And let's see what's up next. So, I do kind of want to hear if you would humor me in this. And what are some of those things that you have dreamt about or that has emerged since the pandemic that has been maybe a great imagination of yours? I would love to hear about that. You can put it in the chat so you can get a shout out on that, and also so that people can know what it is you do. So, alrighty. Now, that believe, yes, right on time. That wraps it up for our Women's Matter segment. So now, let's go to rapid fire and our AMA section. No, not American Music Awards, but Ask Michelle Anything. So, what is it that you would like to know? It doesn't have to be about me personally, but just what would you like to know? What would you like to ask? And here's the fun fact, y'all. I don't know everything. I'm not trying to know everything. So if I got to stop, pause, Google something, but for real, if it's something you want to know, especially like mindset mastery, and dreaming, dream big, being a speaker. If there's something you want to know about, let's say I talked to somebody earlier today and they were like, man, I really want to be a life coach. Okay, holla at your girl, because guess what? No hate on this side. I want you to be a life coach because there's some people that you're going to be able to reach that I can't reach. And so there's no hating, it's only congratulating. And that's what we do at Lift Nation. And that's what I do on our talks on Tuesdays with Michelle Clark, Ms. Clark. So, alrighty. So, what are some of those dreams? What are some of those things that's emerged? And also, what are some of those things that you want to ask me? So, let's see. Until we can get some of those things, and let me flip over here real quick, just in case we have somebody over in our Lift Nation who may be, or excuse me, YouTube who may be watching. Okay, and see if there's any comments over on that part. All right, all right. And then also on Facebook. I'm assuming, y'all, because I'm getting a lot of Facebook love. So I'm assuming that the folks who are watching are on Facebook. So go ahead and ask me a question. What is something that you would like to know? What would you like to know from Ms. Clark? Now is your chance to take your shot. All right. So someone may ask, okay, I've been thinking about changing my direction. So this just kind of tying in with the whole pandemic and emerging and the great imagination. And so you may say, now that you brought this up, Michelle, I've been thinking about wanting to change my direction. And I don't really know like how to do that or what to do. Can you help me out? What would you say? What would Michelle say? So glad you asked. So Miss Clark would say, first and foremost, what you want to do is take some time, carve out maybe about an hour of time, and really just think. Think about all the things that you have to offer. So make a list. I love making a list and putting it on pen and paper or on a computer. If your handwriting is kind of like mine, you won't be able to read it later. So go ahead and just record it in any way that you find. You might put in a voice recorder, doesn't matter. But simply record in some shape, form, or fashion the things that you are good at and the things that you are passionate about. And what is it that is your expertise? What experiences do you have? What education do you have? And here's a good question. So when you make your list, so really sit down, give yourself some think time. If you want to take 20 minutes, a half an hour, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever time you have, because I know a lot of us are very, very busy. We have a lot going on, a lot of moving parts. But really sit down, take the time, write it down, record it. What is it that you would like to do? What is it that you can do? What is it that you love to do? What are you passionate about? Write those things down. Once you get that list in order, here is how you can sift through the list. Ask yourself the question, if I were not getting paid for it, what would I like to do on this list? If I were not getting paid for it, what would I do that's on this list? And that's going to help you to sort some of the things out. Other thing you may ask yourself is, what kind of an impact do I want to make? And depending on the type of impact that I want to make, which ones on this list is going to fall in the category of being able to make an impact? So that's another question to help whittle down the list. So once you get that list down, you still may have 3 or 4 things on the list, maybe even 5, but you may also only have 1 thing on the list. And that makes it easy. So ask yourself, in doing this, what's left on my list, if I'm working with others, what types of people do I want to work with? And is this going to afford me the opportunity to be able to work with those people? What types of people do I want to work with? And is what's left on this list going to afford me the opportunity to do just that? Because let me tell you something, the last thing you want is to create yourself another job, if you will, that you are now working with people that you don't really even want to work with. If you have an imagination and you can just imagine anything you want and put it down and find out what is that you want to do, why would you want to settle working with some folks you don't want to work, or settle for something, doing something you don't want to do? So this can be something that can help to answer that question of, I don't even know where to start and what to do. I just know I want to do something. So hope that helped. Hope that answered the question. So, alrighty. So that is one question of, I'm changing directions. Which direction should I go in? So that's one question. So if anybody has any questions, go ahead and make sure to put it out there. You still have some time. We are still in our rapid fire AMA, where you can ask Miss Clark anything. So what's another question? I'm trying to think of some questions that I normally get, whether it's when I'm life coaching or if it's when I am life therapusting. Okay, so you guys are going to realize that you have to keep fun in fundamentals. Have to keep fun in fundamentals. So from time to time, I'll say some things that may not even be real words or may not be real or sound doctrine, if you will. But guess what? It's keeping fun in fundamentals. All right. So let's think. What is another question? So another question is, here's a good question. So, and I haven't gotten this one specifically in life coaching or in therapy, but just in friendships and social groups where people are like, I really, after the pandemic, I really kind of stopped dating. I want to get myself back out there. Like, what should I do? Okay, so fun fact, I have a friend who told me that I had until X date on the calendar to get on a dating app to get myself back out there because I'm so like head down in my businesses, all right. And so I'm like, I've been thinking about getting back out there in the dating game. So fun fact, I got divorced. So I was married, right? And so I got divorced. So I went from having a husband to a husband. And so I got divorced in 2014. And since then, I really haven't gotten myself back out there. So the pandemic ain't had nothing to do with that. I just really was like, you know what? I started focusing on me. I started focusing on my children and doing the mommy thing, and then putting the love and the passion that I had that I couldn't channel into a person. I then started putting that into my passion into businesses, and that's when I birthed different businesses. And so, along with that, this person says, okay, Michelle, it's time for you to start getting yourself back out there. Okay, I ain't say that she said this. Now I'm summarizing, but she was like, because you're so cute, you need to get yourself back out there. I know you're ready. Yeah, I am. So she gave me a timestamp, and it is coming up rapidly, y'all. So my question, or the question that some people may ask and that has been asked, is how do I get myself back out there? How do I get myself back out there especially if I've been on a hiatus for as long as I've been out on a hiatus? So how do you get yourself back out there? So you may say to yourself, well, or I may say, if you're asking Miss Clark may say, well, dating app is one possibility. Another possibility is maybe just take it slow. Like, you may not be like, okay, I want to really put myself out there. I just kind of want to put my toe in the water because I want to maybe knock some of the rust off, right? Knock the edge off and just kind of get myself out there in a slow but steady fashion. So maybe doing something like, not speed dating, and that's one way to do it, but the thing I was thinking of is maybe partaking in some sort of social groups that are online. So if there's some groups in Facebook or some groups, I don't even know. Okay, sidebar, I have to get my Instagram game up. Definitely have to get my LinkedIn game up. So you'll see more postings and things like that from me on both of those avenues, coming to a theater near you, right? Coming to a social media near you. But the thing is that if there's groups in different mediums, start there and just join a conversation. If there are chat rooms, just join the conversation. Here's a good one: Clubhouse. So join conversations and just see how things play out. and then maybe private chat someone, say, hey, I'd like to have a conversation. I really liked your thoughts about da 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 da. So it's not like, ooh, you so fine. Why don't we get together and go get something to eat? Might not even be in the same town or city or state or country. But if you want to get there like slowly, and listen, no judgment on this side of the screen. If you want to go all in like that, do it, no holds bars. So that's one way to kind of go at it slowly. Another way is to get it on a dating app, or maybe do a speed dating. I know there's been some speed datings that have happened online. I think they may be emerging again now after the pandemic, where they're doing them in person. It's fun. Go with some girls, have a good time, make fun of it, make light of it, because you may not find somebody there. You probably won't find somebody there that you're like, okay, he's my one. That's the one. You might, who knows? I don't want to foo-foo it. Let's put some positive. You know what? Let me take that away, and I'm going to sprinkle some positive pixie dust over that statement, so that way, if you do happen to take part of that you can find the one. So, but if you don't, no fret, my pet. Take some girlfriends with you, or some guy friends with you if you like, and then just really make a go at it. Make it a fun event, and then when it's all said and done, you guys can go out and do whatever you want to do, or have some fun conversations about it afterwards. So that is another way to get yourself back out there. So I'm looking at the time, and it is 8:51. So that is the end of our rapid fire Ask Miss Clark Anything. So if you did not get your question in there, it's not on me, that's on you. So, but in all fairness, you didn't know that this was going to be a part of our platforms, but now you know. And as G.I. Joe would say, knowing's half the battle. So now you know. So next time you can have some questions for who? Miss Clark, me, and you can ask Miss Clark anything. All right, so now let's see. Where are we turning next? Lovely people. So, okay, so announcement time. Are you ready? We have an announcement. So, what I like to do is I want to make sure that we can put your names in the chat, because I want to be able to shout you out, and I want to be able to put you on our wheel of names. So I know I think Genta, are you still in the house? Because your name, okay. Must be present to win, y'all. Must be present to win. So make sure you put your name in the chat, so that way I can see you, and then I can put you on my wheel of names. Now I know we talked earlier about technology. Now I'm new to this platform. So you don't have to be a scholar or rocket scientist in order to connect and empower others. So don't let that stop you from doing that. So with this platform, I want to be able to share, because I put some little fun, not really graphics, but I'm kind of proud of myself on that one with wheel names. Okay, so I see Coach Latria is still in the house. Who else is in the house with me? I see another watcher on there. So who else do we have in the house? Go ahead and tell me, so that way we can get you on the wheel of names. So once we get you on the wheel of names, then I will go ahead and put on there. So we have Coach Latria, you were the girl that I never had. So anytime somebody has like that 3-syllable name, it just, I don't know, that's just something that comes into my mind. Again, keeping fun in the fundamentals. All right, so who else do we have out there? Because I see some other watchers out there, and I would love for you to go ahead and mention who you are, so I can put you on the wheel of names. All right. Oh. Okay, and you all, these comments do come up a little bit like, what do you call that? Like a little pause, I guess. So a little after the fact, but yeah, I'm sure that laugh out loud was the whole, the me seeing Latria. So, all right. So here's the deal. So it looks like at this point, I see some anonymous folks out there, but if you do not come forward, will the real Slim Shady please stand up? So if you are not standing up and you do not acknowledge who you are, then Latria is going to be the only one person on the wheel names, and then I don't even have to spin it. So we'll save that for another time, because I have these. Okay, and you know what? I ain't even gonna tell you. I'm not even gonna tell you. You have to wait and tune in for the next time we do a celebration. So I wanted. So here's the announcement, you guys. Are you ready? Are you ready for the announcement? Y'all ain't ready for the announcement. You're not ready for the announcement. I know it's 8:55, and you're like, oh my gosh, I've hung on all this time. Michelle, please, can you please just let me in? I want to know. I want to know what the announcement is. I want to know. Somebody show me. I want to know what love is. I want to know what the announcement is. Please, please put me out of my misery. Let me know, Michelle. Okay. If you are ready, put a 3 in the chat. If you are ready, put a 3 in the chat, and we will make the announcement. Okay. Oh, yay. Thank you so much. Great conversation. Woo-hoo. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I would love to have you on our Tuesday talks every Tuesday here live where we can interact with each other. And again, a part of the platform, not only will we have these kind of interactions, but we'll also have some guest speakers on. We'll have some guests on that, when I say guest speakers, but there may be speakers. It may be, you never know. You know what? I would love to at some point, and I just don't even see this happening because she's not going to be like, I don't think so, Michelle. I would love to get my mom on here. So we'll see. We have a long way to go before Mother's Day, so I have some time to butter her up and get her ready. So, all right, I see a 3 in the chat. So time is winding down, you all. I don't know if you guys, I like getting with the camera when I'm doing something that's like, something that is sacred or secret or something that is impactful and getting the voice in. You guys like my dramatic voice. So again, fun and fundamentals, you guys. So here's the deal. Okay. I think we're ready. So as of today, you all, so our announcement is, as of today, as a part of Lift Nation, we have reached 200 members. Woo woo! Ow! We reached 200 members today. So, in honor of us reaching 200 members, I am giving away something that is like 2.5K, y'all. I'm giving away 2.5K for our giveaway for the fact that we have reached 200 members. And so, what is that? So, for our 2.5K giveaway, I am giving away 20-minute conversation and exploration with me. So I am gifting that to Coach Latria. So you have won because nobody else wanted to step forward. So guess what? You have won a free conversation and exploration with me. And so I know some people are like, oh man, I wish I would have spoken. I wish I would have said something because I really wanted to holler at you, Miss Clark, on the side and really get my conversation and exploration in. And the thing is, having a conversation with me on here is cool beans. I love it. I love chatting with you all. But trust me, we're going to get down with the get down. We're going to roll up our sleeves. I'm going to get in the trenches with you. And we're really going to hammer out that 20-minute conversation and exploration. So congratulations to Coach Latria. She's like, yay! So you will get that free conversation and exploration. It's 2.5K. But because you were present to win, and you identify yourself, you are going to get that. So yay. And as a matter of fact, you know what? I wasn't even going to do this, but I want to do this. So something just came to my mind and said 2020. 2020 came to my mind, like vision, 2020 vision. One of my favorite quotes from Helen Keller is, and I'm summarizing, and I'm like paraphrasing it, but basically that, it's basically one thing to not have sight. But boy, what is it to not have vision? So that is not anywhere near the way she said it, but that's the gist of it, is that, if I had to choose to not have sight or not have vision, I would choose not having sight, because not having vision is an even darker world. So, all righty. So with that, 2020 came to mind. And so what I like to do is not only give you a 20-minute conversation exploration, but I want to send out to you a $20 gift card from Amazon. So $20 to gift yourself whatever you like to do, and go onto Amazon and shop at your heart's content. So I want to do that for you, Coach Latria, because you hung in here to the end, you identified yourself, and so you are a part of our 2020. And also because you made a decision, and you know what? You said, I am going to be in a founders exclusive member, and you up the ante and you invested in yourself and you made a decision. So I want to invest in you, and go ahead and let me know. We'll talk on the back end, obviously, and I will send that out your way via email. So congratulations to you on 2020 for 200 members. So, all right, if you ask yourself, oh my goodness, how can I become a member? All you have to do is go to Facebook. Go to Facebook, go to Lift Nation, ask for an invite to be invited into the group, and I will request, I guess what's called, and I'll put it in there. If you don't know how to request it, that's okay. Hit me up on an instant messenger, and then I'll send you out the invite. If you don't have Facebook, then all you have to do is send me a message on the back end through my website, www.michelledeclark.com. And then we go from there. All right, everybody, that is my time. It is 9:00, so we are going to sign off. Thank you so much for coming out. Tuesday Talks with Miss Clark. I look forward to seeing all of your bright and shiny and beautiful faces next time. So tell somebody about it and tune in next time, and we will go from there. So closing music. All right, everybody. Love you to life. Thank you for joining in with Tuesday Talks with Miss Clark. I will see you next week.